So I started off with a wooden box, and I actually got it for free from a haul job. Next, you'll want to get some cardboard, some painter's tape, and some PopCans, a razor blade. You're going to want to build your ramps. I didn't have any idea how I was going to build them, what design I was going to do ahead of time, so I kind of looked at my phone to see what other ramps had. And I also let Gabriel play around with it to kind of see what he was digging, see what he was feeling. And I went ahead and taped some cardboard up to make myself some ramps. I took some PopCans, stuck them under the ramp to give it support. Next, you're going to want to take spray foam and fill in all the voids, all the gaps. You're going to make your rocks on the side. It's pretty easy to do. You can't really screw this part up. If some of it gets on the middle of the ramp, like where the cars drive, don't worry about it at all. Do not touch it while it's still wet. This stuff makes a mess. You can always remove it later after it dries. Don't get it on your clothes. Don't get it on your eyes. Keep your kids away from it. I had Abe sit in the other room when I was doing this. It takes about 8 hours for this stuff to set up. This is what we got so far, isn't it, dude?
Yeah.
A little bit of spray foam action. Now we have to make sure that the cars, the trucks I guess, fit. It's like right here, and they might get caught up on there. We're gonna widen them out by taking a little knife and cutting them. So this kind of works best. I use a serrated knife instead of like a razor blade because I found that it cut a lot nicer. Also, if you have a longer knife, you can cut like up and down the track instead of having to score along and possibly digging through your cardboard. Then I went ahead and removed all of the excess spray foam, put it in a pile, and I'm gonna go ahead and clean it up later. This step was really easy, but you need to make sure the spray foam's all the way dry, otherwise your knife will just get stuck and, again, make a mess all over the place. Got all that done, and now we're able to make this little guy fit on all of the track. So now it's time to take our patching plaster. I think like spackle stuff works as well, but we're just gonna smear this all over the place. This stuff is also messy, so I wore gloves again. You're making it look like mud essentially on the course. You're gonna wanna get it all over the cardboard so the cardboard won't look like cardboard when you go to paint it. You can also use a putty knife if you wanna do that, but I was too lazy to go in the garage to find one. And this stuff is called like spackle paste, or I don't know, it's kind of like a joint compound, but I think joint compound, like actual mud, would probably crack when it's on cardboard. All right, got that part done. It's basically to make it look like it's mud and not just boring like cardboard and stuff. So we'll take our glove off, and then next we will take the trucks and make some tire marks and all this jazz so that when we paint it, it looks like trucks are rolling through here. Here's the lineup. Yeah, I don't really have a plan. These are just ones that I had laying around, so yeah, we'll see. And this over here is the track with all the track marks and all that fun stuff on it. So I'm gonna attempt to paint it out here in my garage. I will advise you to do this in a well-ventilated area. We'll do primer first just because this one's almost empty. I'm sure you don't really have to do primer, but we'll see how this goes. This part was probably the funnest part because you kind of get to see the whole thing come together. It actually will start to look like a racetrack at this point. Like I said earlier, I had no idea what I was doing. I just took a spray shield to not make a mess everywhere, took a bunch of different random paints. I just had these paints laying around, so I figured, what the heck, let's use some of them up. I got pretty artsy on the rock and did them darker than the actual mud itself, though. Not too shabby. I just used a bunch of random colors. I know it's still like wet and stuff, but you can actually see the ramps and stuff. So now all we have to do is wait for this to dry and paint our track. I don't know, would they be called like track markers or sidelines? I don't know. The white lines that show you where all the ramps are. If anyone knows what they are, comment below. I have no idea. So for this part, I used an oil-based paint, and I think a water-based one would have done just fine. I used this one because I had it laying in my garage just like every other paint that I've been using in this video. And yeah, I wasn't trying to spend a whole lot of money on this whole thing, as I knew monster trucks were going to be driven all over it. I think I have a total of $12 in this whole project. I flip houses for a living, so luckily I had all this stuff on hand. However, if you have to go buy the stuff, it's a lot cheaper than an actual track, I promise you. Here's the final result. I thought it turned out all right. It's got the red cars in there so you can jump over those. I even painted a really cool skull back there, but no, it is not a cake, you guys. It's not a cake.